Hi folks, I was at Walmart the other day and I was picking up some camping gear and I saw some budget-friendly knives on display and I thought I'd pick some up and check them out. So this was one item I got, and it's the Kershaw Speedsafe Enthusiast pack, and it has 2 Speedsafe knives and a tool, and it was right at $20. So I'm not expecting much for $20, but it'll be interesting to see how these things are made. Both of these knives have 3CR13 steel, which is a low-end steel to be sure, but for the money, 3CR13 is okay. It's not great, but it's okay. And they've got the measurements and all the stats. 8.15 inches long for the tan one, 8¼ inches long for the black one. The handles are glass-filled nylon. They've got liner locks, a lanyard hole, and a pocket clip. So let's go ahead and open it up. I've never really done videos like this before, so you guys will have to let me know if you like it. And I hate opening up packaging like this. Okay, there's one. And there's 2. And then we've got this little hex wrench tool. There we go. So we'll check out the tan one first. And by the way, I am not a knife review expert, so if you're looking for expert stats and measurements and all that stuff, you're in the wrong place. It has a nice action to it. I like how it's got the studs, so you can open it that way, or they've got the little stud back here so you can do it with your finger. Not bad. I mean, it feels good. It feels good in the hand. It's got a nice weight to it. Let's see here. It's got a little bit of back and forth play, which is not surprising. It's a budget knife. There's a tiny amount of vertical play, but it's not bad. I like this finish on the steel. They've got this sort of patina on there. Looks nice. Yeah, looks nice, feels nice. Let's see how it cuts. Yeah, it's razor sharp. I can shave with it. So, you know, right out of the box, it appears to be a decent knife, but we'll do some cut test with it and see how it does. Let's check out the black one, which is the same type of steel, just a different appearance. And this one, of course, has a plain edge all the way across, which I like better. I'm not a big fan of serrated blades on knives. The scales on this knife feel nice. It's got a good feel in the hand. I tuck my finger under there. I've got pretty large hands and it feels pretty good. Now, of course, one of the downsides of a budget knife is that typically you're not going to be able to move the pocket clip to any other location. And that matters for me because I'm left-handed and I keep my knives in my left-hand pocket. So, you know, normally when I get a nice knife, I will almost immediately move the pocket clip to another location, but obviously you can't do that on this knife. Now, if you're right-handed, it's not that big of a deal, but if you're a lefty like me, you know, it can be a little bit of an inconvenience. Okay, it's been about 5 days since I first opened the package, and I figured the best way to assess these knives would be to just carry them around for a few days and see how they did, and so that's what I did. And overall, they performed okay. They're not the best knives in the world, obviously, but they weren't terrible. They were okay. The fit and finish is pretty good. The materials are pretty good. The steel, at least to me, seems to be okay. These things were razor sharp when I first started using them, and I could shave with them. After using them to cut some stuff and open boxes and so forth, They did dull a little bit, but then they sharpened right back up, and now they will shave again. So, you know, the steel that's being used, it's not the highest quality steel in the world, but it's okay. So let's bring over the cutting pad. And there it is. And now we'll start cutting some stuff. So we'll start off with the traditional paper test. And it cuts okay. It's not, you know, razor sharp for cutting paper, but it's good enough. Same thing with this one. Now this one has serration, so the paper test is a little more difficult, but with the straight edge part of it, it works just fine. This one's not cutting the paper quite as nicely as the other one, and that's only because I've been using this a lot more than the other one, but it still works just fine. Now we'll try some thicker paper. This is like a thin cardboard. And it works just fine. Alright, here's some thicker cardboard. This is like your typical cardboard box. These serrations are making it a little awkward, but it's doing fine. Little stumble there. And we'll do some rope too. So it does okay. And finally, here's a carpet sample. We'll see how it does. I like using the plain edge better. The serrations tend to get in the way more than help, in my opinion. But yeah, so what do I think of these after a few days of use? They're decent. They're not the best knives ever by a long shot, but they're not terrible. They're okay. So I could see these being, you know, decent utility knives for doing everyday work and stuff like that. Or, you know, for purposes of this channel, you could put these into a get home bag or a bug out bag or something like that and have an inexpensive way to have a decent quality knife in your pack. Now, of course, these probably aren't going to be lasting a lifetime like a more expensive knife would, but, you know, just for some general cutting and general everyday work, I think they'll be okay. The Speedsafe opening is really nice. It works very well. Got that little kick here, and then that doubles as a finger guard so that your fingers don't slip onto the blade while you're using it. And then we got some jimping up here, so not bad. And the black one is my favorite of the two for reasons that I'll explain in just a minute. It's very smooth. You know, it's a little jerky. It's got a big pop to it when you open it, but overall it's very smooth and it's worked well for the 5 days that I've used it. No problems. And I actually did take these apart to examine how they were made using the tool that it came with. This tool is actually pretty cool. And the construction seems pretty good. These do have Teflon washers as opposed to phosphor bronze washers, which is expected in an inexpensive low-end knife. So no complaints there. I don't think the Teflon washers really matter in the short term. Maybe in the long term, the phosphor bronze washers are better, but you know, for a cheap knife, they're just fine. Now, This one, on the other hand, I did not use quite as much because I didn't find it as handy because it's got the half plain edge and half serrated edge. I just didn't find that as handy on a daily basis. Also, the Speedsafe opening, while it does work, the liner lock, when you open it with the Speedsafe, it shoots over so far that it actually ends up getting stuck on the other side, and you really have to push it back hard to get it to fold back up. And after a while, it really starts to hurt your thumb doing that. And it's really weird because if you open it slowly, the liner lock comes out just fine, right in the middle where it should be, and pushes back easily. But when you do the Speedsafe opening, it goes all the way over and you really have to push it back. So that's a little bit of a fit and finish flaw there, which, you know, is going to be fairly typical on a low-end knife. You know, they've got decent quality components in here, but it's the fit and finish and the assembly where you're really going to notice some differences. And of course, the quality of steel. There's good and bad to that. I mean, you don't want that to happen, but it's much better than the alternative where the liner lock does not come over far enough. And I've had some cheap knives where that happens, and that is a dangerous situation because if it doesn't come over far enough, the knife could potentially fold up on you when you're using it and injure you. So I'd much rather have it this way. If the liner lock is going to be a little bit glitchy, I'd rather it err on the side of shooting too far over and being hard to disengage than not engaging enough. And I've certainly had that happen on some inexpensive knives before, but this one, the liner lock is perfect. It gets there right in the middle and it's easy to push back, but for whatever reason, when they put this one together, it shoots over there and it's really hard to get back. Now, as I said, the tool that comes with this set is actually really nice. It's got that hex bit up there, and then if you open up the bottom, it's got two more. And between the three of these, you can fully disassemble these knives. So that's a bonus. And I did use all of these bits to disassemble these knives, and they worked perfectly. And it's actually a good thing they have this tool with these budget-friendly knives because, like I said before, oftentimes with these budget-friendly knives, the components are pretty good, but the way they're assembled and the fit and finish is not always perfect. And if you have the ability to disassemble the knife, well, then a lot of times you might be able to fix some of those fit and finish issues, like this liner lock that pops over too far. If I disassemble it, I might be able to fix that by filing something down and make that a little bit easier to get back over. So I'm actually glad they put this with the set, and it's a very useful tool even outside of these two knives. So overall, I think these two knives are okay. They're not great, they're not terrible, they're okay. And they're definitely worth $10 a piece. Are they worth $20 a piece? Probably. Are they worth $30 or $40 a piece? Then you start getting into sketchy territory there. But for $10 a piece, you really can't go wrong. Now, in contrast to these, here is a Kershaw knife that's made in the USA that I bought in 2004. So as of now, it's 16 years old. This is a Kin Onion Blur, and this is a fantastic knife made in the USA, and it operates like butter. I mean, there's no kick on the back. You just push it with your thumb, snaps open really easily. The liner lock is right in the middle and very easy to push back. I love this thing. It has performed flawlessly over the last 16 years, and it really operates just as well as the day it was made. But, you know, you get what you pay for. When I bought this in 2004, I believe it was somewhere between, $70 and $100, whereas these are $10 a piece. So, you know, is it worth the extra money? I think so, but if you're on a budget, or you're just looking for a cheap utility knife that you can beat on, I think these are just fine. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and let me know if you like these types of videos. If you do, I'll try to do more of these in the future. For now, that's it. I'm Eric Siegel. This is Kit Bashed Survival. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.